been talked about. They'll know how important this is, as we see the Wellington Phoenix lineup with 3 changes for Paul Temple. Grace Jale and Mackenzie Barry are back from injury, and Zoe McMeekin returns at fullback. And that allows McCutcheon to push into the midfield as well. And for the visitors, the Mariners, just the one change. Brooke Nunn at right midfield pushes Tess Quilligan to the bench. And it is the 100th game for Sarah Langman in goal. These two teams know how desperate the situation is. This is like a cup final.
This really is one of the most important games in the competition right now. Both teams lingering in that death valley, desperately trying to cement a spot in the top 6 as we head towards finals playoffs. And as you said, they're really both lacking momentum, with the Mariners having won 0 of the last 5, and the Phoenix just winning 1 of their last 5. So it really is anyone's game today, and it's all going to come down to who does take those chances.
As we see a player who will be crucial, Annalie Longo. What a superstar. I mean, by all rights, she might have thought she was done and dusted 18 months, 2 years ago, but she's one of the stars of this league.
Well, Captain Fantastic. She's not only a star of the team, but the A-Leagues as an entire competition. She's leading player, pretty much every stat related to assists. You know, from most chances created, successful crosses, most assists. So she's really just waiting for her teammates to step up and follow her lead here.
And there is Annalie Longo with a smile on the face. She'll be trying to make sure her team is relaxed and ready to go. You don't want that tension to seep into your performance. You've got to be aware of it, acknowledge it, but don't be too tight going into this one. Bianca Gulich brings leadership, doesn't he? And international experience now for Bianca.
Yeah, absolutely. Her teammates will be looking to the captain to lead them. She's a A-League veteran, a Croatian national representative, so they'll be looking to her to not only feed those forwards like Pinnock and Rasmussen up front, but she'll be also eyeing up the back of the net, looking to shoot when she gets in goal-scoring range.
And a shout-out, we've just missed seeing it. Well, we saw Felix Rodriguez. Shout out to St. Joseph's School. Felix, 8 years of age, out there for the coin toss. And favourite player is the Phoenix keeper, Carolina Villau. So a nice moment for a young fan to be involved in the Ninja A-League in Porirua this afternoon. So a look at the computer. What does that tell us? It's pretty close.
Absolutely. This really is both teams pretty even. It's who's going to come out the better team today. It's going to be those ones who put it at the back of the net. This really is anyone's game, and what an important one it is.
They do regard home after a rocky start to the season, but they do regard home as a little bit of a fortress. As we have a look at the points table, this is what Bex was referring to earlier, that race for the 6th. The Mariners are in there at the moment, but if the Phoenix can win, they leapfrog 1, 2, 3 teams. And Brisbane, well, they play Adelaide, don't they, later in this round. So it could be a massive 3 points for the Knicks. Mariners will get proceedings underway, playing from our right to left as we enjoy bringing you this Ninja A-League coverage here on Sky Sport and across the Tasman. A lot of Mariners fans will be watching, of course, as Longo. Is she going to add to those stats already? Not quite. She got into the attacking third, but it's not one of her better crosses this season. As first touch there for Langman, playing her 100th, and I don't know that she will have enjoyed the video review of their 3-3 draw with Sydney last week. Bex, she, I'm sure, feels she should have done better with at least one of those goals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a tough position, though. She was under the pump, and she'll be looking to kind of redeem herself and stop as many goals as possible this game.
And there again, those most recent 5 matches for these two teams, it does not make for good reading. There's just the one W there between the two teams. Mariners, first team having to defend, nothing of any real consequence in the opening moments. And first free kick of the match will go to the visiting side.
Few nervy moments out there by the looks of it from the Mariners. A bit of a sloppy play, kind of creating unnecessary pressure for themselves. So they'll be looking to tidy that up and get their foot on the ball and calm things down.
Annabelle Martin with a ball for none to chase. Does well, keeps it in play and finds support. Now, Phoenix have got themselves organised, numbers behind the ball. Conditions may well play a part, as can often be the case. There is a breeze here in Porirua. We're on the outskirts of Wellington, a city famous for its wind, and there's confirmation of that. Officially described as windy, 19 degrees, so quite mild. But we see that breeze getting behind the football there and carrying it over the goal line. So Sarah Langman will restart from the goal kick.
You can see the wind there, just taking those Pride flags in the corner there for part of Pride round this week.
Yes, the Ninja A-League celebrating the Pride round with a real focus on education, and clubs across the competition taking up various initiatives. It's on display in a physical sense here today with those corner flags. Longo again looking to be busy. She'll have a lot of touches down this right side of midfield, just escaping the clutches of 3 or 4 Mariners defenders.
Yeah, she couldn't find any space there, but no doubt that's been done on purpose by the Mariners. No doubt a key tactic coming into this game would be to shut Annalie down there in the midfield, stop her making those plays into the attacking third.
Really, the Mariners outside of kickoff, and that didn't last too long. They've not really had any possession inside the Phoenix half. As last touch there is off Mania Elliott. Has 4 goals this season, Elliott. And one might argue that those stats and figures for Longo, it's not reflected in a position on the league table, as Wynnum wins a free kick. But when you have a player influencing the attacking stats to the extent that Longo is, should you, Bex, expect to see her team higher on the table?
Absolutely. The season really has been summed up by that lack of finishing by the Wellington Phoenix. And, you know, with Annalie, such a quality player in the midfield there, just feeding her attackers, her wingers, they really should be making more of those opportunities. And if they had been, they would be really guaranteed a spot in that top 6 right now.
Here's one from the training ground. Wynnum with a slide rule pass. It was the right play. Just played a little too heavily there for Mackenzie Barry to react. And they've won another attacking free kick here. Now, though, they do work on these set pieces, don't they?
Yeah, and I love to see this creative play, you know, not what you expected, just a little quick pass there from Annalie and making the most of that. Just unfortunately for the Wellington Phoenix, it was just a bit overweighted, that pass into the box.
Saw there Sarah Rowe with the handball, so they can set something up again here now. Confirmation of her attacking influence, creating the most chances from set piece play. So already won so far without a result. So the odds are improving for Longo with the second attacking free kick. Good delivery. Again, there it is. There's nothing wrong with that delivery. And really, that just makes your point, Rebecca Soughton. Where is the attacking intent on the end of that?
Well, you're absolutely not going to get a better delivery and chance than that into the box. Someone just needs to get a body part on it and really want to score there.
Mariners deciding on Route 1 stuff there. This composure from Villau, and look at that sweeping exit from defence from Villau. And just highlights the threat. She does have an assist this year, so it really does highlight that if that ball's played accurately from Carolina Villau and the attacking players are ready and alert, that could be an outlet.
Yeah, Vilau's fancy footwork has been sensational this season. She's probably one of the better skilled players with her feet on the field, actually. But yeah, amazing for a goalie to have an assist.
Jade Pennock playing provider, delivering from wide, cut out by the Knicks. And now something might open up here for Jale. Ferguson is in advance down the middle of the park. The cross trying to find Ferguson. Wynnum, who doesn't score many, chooses not to shoot, tries to set up a teammate straight at the keeper. Nice counter-attacking play from the Knicks. Jale it was in the end with the shot on goal.
Some really exciting play down that left wing, but again, just maybe one touch too many by the Phoenix there. It allowed the Mariners to get numbers back and slow the play there.
Ray Gomez out of midfield, the number 6 for the Mariners. Getting a few touches early on. Nice intervention there from Mackenzie Barry. Her return at the heart of the Phoenix defence, Bex. It not only strengthens the Phoenix defensively, but it strengthens them in midfield because Maya McCutcheon can push back forward again.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got some great defensive players who like going forward and are effective when they can. And obviously her coming in, we saw Jaber receive that red card last weekend. So great to have her back in the fold and bring some strength in the back line there.
Nash looking for the ball through to Jade Pennock. Let's have another look here. It was a lovely ball by Lara Wall. Does Wynnum do enough here? Eventually does find Jale, and there is a strike on goal, so hard to argue against that. But again, just that cut and thrust on attack there. I wonder if that's the key part of the jigsaw that's yet to be put in place for Alyssa Wynnum.
Yeah, absolutely. As one of those attacking players, you just need to have that absolute desire to hit the back of the net, and maybe some of these strikers need a bit more selfishness and to want to just hit that themselves early. She could have taken a leaf out of Chris Wood's book there, who was playing in the capital Wellington last night, and the Oceania qualifiers against Fiji, and he's one to watch and learn from. So I hope they were all watching.
Yeah, I reckon there might be a few players around the world with posters of Chris Wood and watching video of his football. What a season he is having. As you say, a hat-trick for New Zealand last night as they won their semi-final in World Cup qualification, 7-0 over Fiji. And lovely ball now for Mania Elliott. Finds Wynnum. Wynnum beats one, but not the second. Quick feet from Alyssa Wynnum. Can she find room for the cross? The momentum just going from the attack momentarily. Doing well in tight spaces here, the Phoenix, but the Mariners, pay them credit, defending that situation pretty well down their left wing side.
Yeah, absolutely. Some nice little fancy footwork and a great ball into the box here. What can she do with this? She can't quite find her teammates there. Some exciting passage of play here from the Phoenix, but equally the Mariners doing a great job on defence, really closing out that space as we see Mark and Annalie Longo very tightly there.
Ferguson again, and last touch off the Phoenix player, and the Mariners will have the goal kick. So another stat that just underlines the challenge for the Phoenix in the attacking third. It's not just a lack of first-half goals. Generally, they've not got the goals that at times their overall play has deserved. Jale. In fact, it's McCutcheon. And there was Jale with shouts of shoot from the stands. Longo. All the pressure coming from the Phoenix without a result on the scoreboard. Jale just dinks that one in and hoofed away. It is a little bit anywhere will do at the moment for the Mariners, as Kelly does well. Setting up Campante, that's a handy ball. McMeekin forward, and offside flag is up. A good moment to just have a look at the formation here for the Phoenix. We were told that Zoe McMeekin on screen now would be playing at right fullback. I think she's a left winger.
Well, Paul Temple is known to like to switch players around. He likes to see kind of those outside backs and those wingers kind of roll around the outside, get into attacking spaces. He loves to see his inner midfielders also roll out to the wings. So quite a versatile team, and Paul Temple will be encouraging those players to get forward and get into different positions. But what a fantastic run by Kelly there. She's a great, typical, American defender, strong, but likes to go forward as well, and exciting to watch when she does that.
And I think it is brave from Paul Temple, but at this stage of the season, in a match of this consequence, yeah, bravo, well played, because change it up, throw a surprise. And I don't know that the Mariners in their scouting would have had up on their whiteboard Zoe McMeekin, left winger, or indeed one of two strikers alongside Ferguson.
Yeah, no, I surprised even the best of us, Andrew, there. It's exciting to see. We'll see if she stays up there. But, Paul Temple, who's really got no other options to look to take those 3 points. As we said, it really is do or die. They can't really afford a draw with 1 point there. So he's got to throw everything at it. And in this first kind of 15 minutes, we are seeing them throw everything at it.
Mariners, though, have survived the initial onslaught, approaching 15 minutes and no score here at Porirua Park. Two teams very close on the table and on the cusp. In golfing terms, they're right on the cut line for the postseason playoffs. Bilal showing that handy footwork, and then drives one safely down the line, and accurately too for McMeekin. Gee, she's covering some ground across that top third for the Knicks.
Yeah, incredible running there by McMeekin, just to swap sides and, see her so far advanced. There's one thing to kind of defensive positions to go forward, but she really is playing, it looks like a traditional centre forward position there. So really interesting play here.
They're a little bit at 6s and 7s at the moment, the Mariners. They've really not got into this match at all. Wall. And McMeekin to chase. She was clipped there. Delivers the early cross and was in that danger zone just for a moment, wasn't it? Langman having to dive to her left to cut that out. But McMeekin is proving a real nuisance. May, though, have been offside. The flag is up. Right idea with Ferguson, trying to make that lung-busting run to the far post.
Yeah, great early ball there from McMeekin. It's always hard to defend it against when you're kind of trying to chase back and a ball comes in early.
Nice interchange. Frees Elliott momentarily. Longo now. And again, looking for the early delivery. You could see the idea, but the skipper just puts her hand up in apology. It's most unlike her. That's a couple of good opportunities down this right wing side, and Longo's not been accurate enough.
Yeah, very out of character of Anna Lee there. Unfortunately, just that final pass of the ball, right idea, but just couldn't execute it properly. But some exciting play happening here from the Phoenix. Great to watch and really putting the Mariners under the pump at the moment. High intensity play in that first 20 minutes. We haven't seen the Mariners get too much of the ball here and a hold of things.
Turned over cheaply. It is one-way traffic at the moment. As we have a look at the earlier burst down the right, and just out of picture, McMeekin was there. Just down that narrow left channel, had Annalie Longo been able to wrap the right foot around that cross. Wynnum, Elliott, aiming for Ferguson. First time attempt from Ferguson. Well, marshalled on that occasion, though, by the Mariners, but the Phoenix are looking threatening down this right wing side, especially.
Yeah, in here from Mania Elliott. Couldn't quite get her body in front of that to get a hold of it, but some great play here by the Phoenix, really playing with some energy. Like, I haven't seen them at this level of intensity before, really creating opportunity after opportunity. Now they just need to convert one of these early and get ahead of the game.
McCutcheon. Kelly had gone forward. Ferguson might force the corner here, and does. Yeah, well, I'm almost at the point of counting Mariners players. I mean, this is just completely dominant from the Wellington Phoenix. And I think more so than those numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just watching those position stats myself, being a bit surprised there. It just feels like Wellington are attack after attack, and it feels like the calls come in to get the ball behind that Mariners defence from Paul Temple.
There's the pride flag waving proudly in the Porirua breeze. That one's put right on top of Langman. Can't deal with it. Jale lunging, and Langman this time collects. And there are complaints from the Mariners. I'm not sure they can have any. That ball was there to be won. Langman did not deal with it, and Jale well within her rights there to try and knock that over the line from a yard out.
Yeah, there was definitely not too much in that. That's just one of those positions. It's hanging in the 6-yard box and multiple players going for it. But that ball really just floated in the wind there and was waiting for someone to knock it in. It's really there for the taking. A beautiful corner in there from Mania Elliott. And in fact, both the Phoenix and the Mariners are the two highest teams with success rates from the corners. Mariners,
gosh, if they would have opened the scoring in this match, what a sucker punch that might be. Attack does not threaten. Just underlining again at the bottom of your screen, that's a fairly obvious follow-up, I guess, to the lack of first half goals. They don't lead too often at half-time, the Knicks. And we have, from time to time, seen similar performances. The difference today has to be the Phoenix have to score during these moments. And they've had 20 minutes of edging, if not dominating the game, and they have not put anything on the scoreboard, which will be a concern to Paul Temple.
And it seems like a recurring theme for this team over the season. You know, great games at times, but just unable to convert and ensure those 3 points along the way throughout the season so far.
Kelly is too strong. Phoenix number 5. And McMeekin's position higher up the park is seeing Mania Elliott's operating almost in a bit of a wing-back role. She's defending as often as she is going forward. Elliott here with the throw on the halfway line. Emily Husband there just in the background, the Mariners coach, who will be more pleased than Paul Temple with the scoreline, but more concerned about the way this match has started.
Absolutely, I think Emily Husband there will be waiting to see if her team can get back in this game and just get a hold of the ball and try and keep possession and get into their own half and attacking third more.
McCutcheon, Barry, Wall advancing the left fullback. Shot from distance is comfortable for Langman. It's a great achievement, you know, any player to notch up 100 games in the A-League. And Langman looks like it might be a busy celebration for her today, the way that her team has started in front of her.
So it's catch-22 for goalkeepers. They want to be able to show how good they are and, you know, really have an impact on the game. But if they're doing that, that means they're under the pump and not where they want to be for a team perspective. See there the Wellington Phoenix just dropping back, really happy for the Mariners to kind of receive the ball in their back third and then pressing high when they get the ball, trying to win it back and create an unforced error for the Mariners.
Rowe delivering a tough one for Rasmussen to control. Ferguson would have been adjudicated offside had that ball from Wall been in her vicinity. Mariners getting a few more touches. Kelly invited to come and clear that one by McCutcheon, and she obliged. And again. Ferguson for Wynnum. And Ferguson just a little too aggressive there. It may not displease Paul Temple. There was good intent there. So the referee right on the spot, and the Mariners have an opportunity to perhaps swing this into the area. Conversation ensues. Taylor Ray goes wide. Zoe McMeekin, we know about the engine, as we see Rowe just backpedaling, and she'll have her hands full if McMeekin stays on that left side of the park, because she looks in the mood. We've always known as a wing-back, a fullback who likes to get forward, that she can motor. She can just cover 40 or 50 metres at a time for 90 minutes. But man, she's putting in a shift so far today.
Yeah, absolutely great defending back there to get back. She got in that slide tackle and won the ball back for the Phoenix. But equally, she's back up the front again and creating a bit of chaos up there for the Mariners.
It was quick feet initially from Petr-Trimis, but too tight on that sideline.
Look at that, 9 touches in the opposition box for the Wellington Phoenix, and the Mariners 0, and that really just sums up this first 25 minutes.
Ferguson flags up. Flags up, and I wonder, does the referee play the offside here, or what looked to be a little bit of late contact on Longo when she played the through ball? They're going to go with the offside, but watch here. Just there, nothing too much in that. Longo complained. It was a tight call, wasn't it, for the offside?
Gosh, yeah, that was a hard one to judge, but the touchline judge down there had a good view, so no doubt the right call. But gosh, there wasn't much in that. Kind of bit of a hope ball from Annalie Longo, but just hoping it came off, and it almost did.
It'll be a little breather here. It's perfect timing. We're more or less halfway through the first half. A chance for a drink and a chat with the respective coaches so that some attention can be given to Sarah Langman, the Mariners keeper.
You can see Zoe McMeekin really gasping for air there. They look like they're all a bit puffed, and it's not surprising. And, you know, 27 minutes into the game, the intensity is still being really high. I think, you know, in the first 10 to 15 minutes, you expect that level of intensity when everyone's rearing to go and it normally settles down. But Wellington Phoenix have really had their foot on the throttle this whole 27 minutes.
Yeah, I hate to be that broken record, though, Bex, because look at the scoreboard. Yeah, this is the tale of the tape for the Phoenix this season. Pictures are frozen and we've lost everything. I assume you are the same. Welcome back. A couple of technical hitches that our amazing team are pedaling madly in those wheels, keeping things spinning here. So we do apologise, but we will keep on top of things as best we can. You haven't missed any goal-scoring action, but the Mariners are starting to edge back into this contest. And to answer your question, Bex, of Emily Husband, I think she'll be a little more content now. They've survived the initial onslaught, and they are starting now to string a few passes together.
And all it takes is one goal to get on the scoreboard. So will this be that goal they desperately would love to see?
Well, they don't score many from set-piece play. They're one of the worst in the Ninja A-League. Wynnum back defending. And they have hit the bar. Didn't go in. I thought it might have rebounded in. It's come back off the crossbar. And now there's a bit of afters with Villau not liking the attention she received. The Phoenix, what a lucky escape.
And I think Villau there is just knowing that and taking a sigh of frustration there out on the opposition. I mean, gosh, that could have been easily 1-0 to the Mariners. I thought that was going in. And as we said, doesn't matter that the Wellington Phoenix have dominated this game. All it takes is a goal in the back of the net.
Gomez with an awkward volley. She had to wait for that to come down. And it was just after we cut away from that replay, there was a little contact, and I think in the melee, I think Brooke Nunn, number 21 for the Mariners, was given a yellow card. But just underlining that change in momentum. Ferguson, is the flag going up this time? It is. Ferguson hasn't heard the whistle yet and turns and realises that she is offside for the second or third time. But here's another look. Good save there from Villau, really strong. That is the shoulder that Villau did not appreciate. And she came back and had a little afters there. And Nunn was shown a yellow card.
Villau not looking at all impressed, I'm sure, with that crossbar, and then the argy-bargy there, by the looks of it, twice there, reacting. But wow, end-to-end football here. It's definitely been an exciting first half. And with the Mariners, really, the best chance so far of the half, which has been absolutely against the run of play.
We just saw Ferguson receiving some attention. And given how light that strapping was, I wonder if it's more for a graze or a cut rather than a muscle or potentially, you know, ligament injury. She's back out there, the number 9. We'll keep an eye on Ferguson, but she does appear to be running quite freely. Wall. A fullback who enjoys winning a tackle. She waited just long enough, so that turned into a tackle, did Lara Wall. Martin off the shin of McCutcheon. It's past the half-hour mark, and Rebecca Soudan alongside me in commentary. There's no question the Mariners are now very much back into this contest.
Absolutely. I think within the last few minutes we've seen them in the box more than the whole first half, and you can feel it out there. A nice wide ball earlier, and
wow, the referee does not like what she's seen here from McCutcheon, an indication that the referee feels this was an elbow to the face of a Mariners player. So a set-piece situation here. Let's have a look. McCutcheon here, just hooking that one over her shoulder. If there's any contact, it's very light. And again, it looked as though there may well have been a yellow card, this time brandished to the Phoenix number 6.
Certainly looked unintentional there, just one of those competitive challenges, but a dangerous position for the Wellington Phoenix here, as the Mariners will look to do something with this free kick.
And as you saw, they've only played 3 times in their respective A-League histories, and the Mariners are yet to lose. What have they got here? Rasmussen, I reckon, is the decoy. Martin. Now Rasmussen steps back and takes control. She fooled me. 5 in the wall. Rasmussen strikes straight into that wall, did its job, and again. Ray Farrow. And Nash, and now Jade Pennick. Well, you may have had a crick in your neck from looking to the right through the opening 25 minutes. We're starting to help you with the chiropractic work, because the Mariners are enjoying a really good spell in the match. And all of a sudden, the visitors do look very comfortable here at Porirua Park. McMeekin, they all stood back. In particular, Nash was the most guilty of the Mariners. But they really have woken up, haven't they? They're closing down much more effectively, disrupting that Phoenix flow.
Yeah, it looks just in that last 5 to 10 minutes, they've kind of shut down the space even a bit more tightly, not allowing the Phoenix to kind of get it out of their feet and string too many passes together.
Wynnum. Again, nice example there of her close control, and that's a poor challenge from Martin. And she looks bemused. Well, I tell you what, she'll be very lucky here not to go into the notebook. This is going straight through the heels of an attacking player.
There was just really no need for that. When you've got your back towards the goal, that Knight Elliott, she wasn't going anywhere. She just went straight into the back of her, and dangerous tackle there.
That surely, 9 times out of 10, that's a yellow. For what we've seen already in the match, and maybe Annabelle Martin, maybe the bemused look has convinced the official not to brandish the card, because that was not great. Elliott's okay though. Wynnum tried one from a long way out. These young players, it must be a delight to train alongside and play alongside Annalie Longo. Just the composure that she brings, the vision. Annalie Longo very rarely receives a pass without knowing what she's going to do next. It really is an object lesson to young players.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a great leader, both on and off the field. She's got that vision. She knows what she's going to do before she gets it. And so funny hearing her as a leader and such an experienced player, because when I was playing football with her, she was a 15-year-old and came into the football ferns when I was a senior. So it's so funny to see her still so far in her career to this day.
Careful, Bex. You're dating yourself here. Careful. I know that Longo, who's on the ball again, she's been very self-deprecating with some recent comments about future World Cups and opportunities for New Zealand, as Langman drops it and is bailed out by Nash. Oh, that is not the way to celebrate your 100th game, but her blushes are spared.
Yeah, a rare error here from Langman there. Just a simple ball she should have collected, and lucky this time, but let's see the next time if that happens.
Longo now down this left wing side. There's a beautifully measured pass. Wall looking for Ferguson. Rebound. Langman is the one to cover up this time for her defenders. Just to finish the point about Longo, I understood where she was coming from, as I think did everyone, saying that she hopes she's not around for the next World Cup, for the next significant tournament, because that will mean the next generation is coming through. But why not Flea? Why not Annalie? Why not go another 3 or 4 years the way she's playing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's been on absolute form here in the A-League, one of the best in the Phoenix, one of the best in the league. And, you know, if she's still pulling those young players forward, giving them all that experience and still performing at her top, why not? But, you know, she's leading the team, the Football Ferns are captaining them at the moment. So it's hard to see if you're in a captain's position at the moment and, you know, not going on and wanting to keep alongside that team to the next World Cup.
I'm just checking for possible head knock. Pretty sure it's Nash who is heading towards the sideline. Yes, Jess Nash, they will check, and rightly so, carefully, if a player has any risk of a concussion of any sort, because any sort of concussion is not good. So they'll have to officially start with a drop ball here. Of course, the Phoenix will stay well out of it. Four minutes to play until half-time. Paul Temple, I reckon, as we see Nash back out there, so she's been given the all-clear. Paul Temple may well have the half-time chat just in the back pocket, and it's possibly been read about 6 or 7 times this season. You're going well, team, but let's score a goal or two.
Absolutely, and this has just been such a story of this Wellington Phoenix side. Some moments of great play, some moments of great games, but just not putting the 3 points, not putting the ball in the back of the net, and kind of a frustrating story there for Paul Temple, saying, you're playing great, you're doing some great moves, the movement off the ball's fantastic, but we're still 0-0, so it doesn't matter.
Gomez, who had that shot come back off the crossbar, but otherwise has been pretty well marshalled by the Knicks. She's been in great form in recent weeks with 3 goal involvements, with a couple of assists and a goal. The Mariners number 6. Barry, alert to the danger and happy to see that one just out over the sideline. Paul Temple doesn't have at his disposal is a great deal of experience on the bench today, and I'm sure that we will see both sets of substitutes play a part in the second half. But Brazendale, Jerez, Ingham, they're just starting their careers. Mebe Tanaka, the Japanese import, has 15 games under her belt, but really not a great deal of experience there for Temple to call upon. Rasmussen just pushed across the park. Header off the bar again. They've hit the woodwork for the second time. And what's the referee decided here? I think she's given a penalty. I'm pretty sure a penalty has been adjudicated here, and it may well be for what occurs after this hits the crossbar. It's a wonderful header, and is there much in that?
Oh,
this angle might tell us. The initial header from Trimis was superb. Rasmussen hit the deck in the area, and a penalty was very nonchalantly given. Let's have another look here from this angle.
Oh, that is a heartbreaking call for the Wellington Phoenix there. It looked to me like she just had that momentum going forward, and kind of Big Bill just kind of carried her forward there, but the Wellington Phoenix, they'll just be absolutely gutted with that. But as we say, here we go. Can Vilau be the hero of the crossbar for the second time? Can that help her out here with this penalty kick for the Mariners?
Well, Rasmussen has earned it, and she will take it. 4 goals, 1 assist on the season so far. Controversial decision. Can Rasmussen make it pay? She can. Sends the keeper the wrong way, and the Mariners against the run of play. They've come back into it late in this first half, but certainly as far as attacking threat goes, they've been second best, but they're current leaders on the scoreboard, 1-0 in the shadows of half-time.
My gosh, what a dramatic first half we've had there. Look at this, just places it in that corner. Vilau, as good as she is, couldn't stop that one up against it there. But wow, what drama here. This match of the Phoenix versus the Mariners. The Phoenix really dominated. The Mariners have had 2 chances and they're 1-0 up.
Yeah, well, they've had the better chances, of course, twice off the woodwork, and now having scored from the penalty spot. But gee, another look at that. It did suggest, Bex, I possibly shared your first impression that Rasmussen was already on her way down. She'd already stumbled and really went down under her own steam. The proximity of 2 defenders convinced the referee that there was some contact. And all the talk, all the stats that we've shown you about whether the Phoenix might score a first half goal, might lead at half time. It's quite the opposite. They trail through that Rasmussen penalty.
Yeah, I'm sure both teams, particularly the Wellington Phoenix, they will be going back and watching that penalty kick. It was one of those ones where it's a bit unfortunate when they're not even going towards goal and a penalty is given kind of against the run of play, but really, wow.
Meakin has done superbly well there, just to force a throw. Is there time for the Phoenix to create something? As Longo is bundled over. And Annalie Longo in some pain. And she does not stay down on the turf, typically without just cause.
Yeah, she doesn't look in great shape there. You can see her face there. It's not looking good for Annalie Longo, and I really hope she can get up for herself and her team here. Such a key player.
And of course, a recent history of serious knee issues. So let's hope this is not a recurrence of anything serious. Won't repeat what Annalie just said there, but the good news is she's back on the feet.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to lose Annalie there. What a blow that would be, and kind of sums up just this last minute of the game, really. A penalty against the Phoenix, their captain going down. Let's see what kind of mental games come into play here and if they can pull themselves together before half-time.
We might go 4 minutes of time added on. It may be more because that goal was scored so late in the half, and then we had the delay for the Mariners players to get back to halfway. Wynnum, again, from a long way out, the shot was optimistic. It's taken a touch off a defender, and Langman under no pressure.
I think Emily Husband and her team will be very happy heading into the sheds with a 1-0 lead. I'm sure some nerves there early on in that first half. They were under the pump. It's just kind of attempt after attempt by Phoenix, but as it stands 1-0 and a great penalty kick there to get them in the lead. Yeah,
this is a mistake from Villau. We talked her up with the ball at feet, and she'll get away with it. So the Mariners have done superbly. Soaked up all the pressure. Didn't panic. We saw Emily Husband. She was calm on the sideline. And they've edged into the contest on a couple of occasions. Hit the woodwork. McMeekin can't quite edge clear there of Ray. Good defending from the number 10. And it is the Mariners who will go to the half-time break in the lead on the scoreboard, having bounced back in the second half of the opening 45 minutes to create some chances and score from the penalty spot through Annalise Rasmussen. Half-time here at Porirua Park. It's the Wellington Phoenix 0, Central Coast Mariners 1.
spectators must comply with the A-League's term of admission and the venue's conditions of entry, including provisions relating to security screening and intoxication. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item or assessed as unduly intoxicated may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, potentially banned from attending future matches, and handed over to police for further questionings. We ask you to respect your fellow spectators by refraining from illegal and dangerous activities. The A-Leagues, Professional Footballers Australia and Football Coaches Australia are taking a stand against online bullying in Australian football. There is no place for racism, abuse or hate in our sport. Play it fair. Players are illegal in all venues. If you possess or throw a player, there are severe penalties that apply. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, potentially banned from attending future matches, and handed over to police for further questioning. A financial fine may also be issued. We are committed to providing a safe and enjoyable environment for all fans and ask you to respect your fellow spectators by refraining from illegal and dangerous activities. It is an offence for any spectator to enter the field of play without authorisation. Any spectator that enters the field of play without authorisation will be evicted from the stadium, and handed over to police for further questioning. Financial fine may also be issued. APL is committed to providing a safe and enjoyable environment for everyone, and we ask you to respect the players and match officials by remaining within the seating line. You can make it with Ninja. Wellington's official is a that celebrates allows you to use the time to smoke and get right outdoors. That's our national
Well, welcome back to Porirua Park here on the outskirts of Wellington, and it is the home side, the Phoenix, who trail 1-0 at the break. The Mariners, it's a bit of a smash and grab under the pump for the first 20 minutes, but the Phoenix, as has been, well, it's a bit of a tale of woe, it has to be said. They do not score goals that at times their dominance suggests they should. The kids are enjoying the curly, whirly fried potato. Love a bit of that myself. Let's have a look, though. Beck Soudan alongside at the only goal, and it came from first hitting the crossbar, Peter Trimmis. Lovely header, but is this a soft penalty in the Ninja A-League?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those ones that's debated for a while, I'm sure. She was looked like she was a heavy fall there, but it wasn't her momentum and weight going forward. But beautifully placed there in the bottom right corner, and Villar couldn't stop that one to put them 1-0 up.
Yeah, good enough to capitalise, whether it's a good fortune with the call or not. There appeared to be very little contact. Oh, I tell you what, the curly-whirly potatoes
Popular
are for
choice
older blokes as well. Yeah, I like that. Let's have a look at some of the numbers from this. And the Mariners really did turn it around. They really did. Possession, they ended up shading it. Shots on goal, they've shaded it. On target, it's equal. And again, it highlights that you felt the Phoenix in the opening 20 minutes, they were good value for 2-0, weren't they?
Absolutely. And as you said, the Mariners, you can see there with the stats, have turned it around, got back possession, and most importantly, hit the woodwork twice and put 2 shots on target, the same as the Phoenix, but put one of them in the back of the net.
Yeah, and we saw 13 touches in the opposing penalty area for the Phoenix, and that's a lot. Oh, stop it! Stop it! Can our team please stop it? Okay, it's that time of the day. Let's have a look at a few of the highlights. Annalie Longo has been involved in so much going forward, and almost all of what we're seeing here for the Phoenix is in the opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. They were really putting the Mariners under pump here, like getting in their 18-yard box, getting numbers forward with a lot of momentum. But again, the best chance here, Manai Alec, great corner in there. It was just sitting there for someone to put a toe or a head or a shoulder on that ball and hit the back of the net, but no one taking that ownership.
And the Mariners, by contrast, most of what we'll see here is in the latter part of the first half, as they found their confidence, strung a few passes together. Gomez with a lovely drive onto the crossbar. Villau cleaned up eventually. There was a little bit of afters there, but this is technically superb from Gomez.
Beautifully hit left foot volley there, just dipping, hit the crossbar.
And this is again the woodwork involved. It does lead to the penalty, so they will feel, the Mariners, as though hitting the crossbar was not a missed opportunity. It essentially set up the earning of the penalty, which they scored through Rasmussen. So the kids enjoying a little football out on the playing surface. We'll be back in a moment or two as we get ready for the second half. The Knicks trailing the Mariners 1-0. Well, the halftime chat will just about be concluding under the stand here. In fact, as the players start to emerge, Paul Temple has done his best to try and rejuvenate, put some confidence back into his players, because they must be slightly damaged by this repeated pattern of playing well but not scoring goals. The subs, when will they be called upon? The Mariners, by contrast, Emily Husband will be positively buzzing. Just the words, I'm sure, echoing in the ears of her players will be fantastic. Soaked up the pressure, came back into it, plenty of shots on goal. We've got the lead. More of the same, please, because let's have a look at the live ladder as to what that does, Rebecca Sowden, to this race for the six, because this is a crucial one for the Phoenix in particular, because they are chasing, trying to get into the six. The Mariners already there, and look, this is live as it stands. So the Mariners just kick clear of the Phoenix, and just try and get some separation. Brisbane, of course, playing Adelaide, so if they're beaten, it's a great result for the Mariners as it stands.
Yeah, absolutely. That middle of the table hustle right now, you know, really the Phoenix, it's do or die for them in this game today. They really need those 3 points to stay in contention. And it looked like, you know, that first half of the first half, they looked like they could have taken those. But you can see Paul Temple's face there. And I think earlier the Phoenix goalkeeper, Villau, her face, I think, summed it up really. That great start, but just didn't put one in the back of the net and have gone in 1-0 down at the half.
What are the options? What have you seen? Do they change formation? Do they change shape? We've already seen McMeekin playing very advanced in this match. Have they got different personnel? Or is it that they're doing everything they possibly can and they're actually just not quite good enough in the attacking third? Yeah,
absolutely. I'm sure if there was anything they could do, Paul Temple would say, get me an import striker right now who can put one in the back of the net, because they were creating the opportunities. They just need someone to actually take charge and hit the back of the net and put them on the scoreboard. And I wonder actually if later in this half we'll see Mbe Tanaka from Japan come in. She came off the bench a couple of weeks ago and scored a goal for them. I think they just need that technical player now who can actually hit the ball properly and score for them.
Mariners with the final huddle, an exchange of words of wisdom. Quite see who's leading the chorus there, but the Knicks are ready to go, as are we. Andrew Dewhurst still with you alongside Rebecca Sowden as we continue to enjoy bringing you this Ninja Women's A-League. Phoenix have had a funny old campaign, a terrible start to the season. They got back on track, and in recent times they've just found themselves in a bit of a rut again, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Their story of the season has been some great periods of play, some great games, but unable to always pick up those 3 points and get higher up the table. So here we go off. Let's see what they can produce in the second half at Porirua Park.
Playing into the breeze, and sometimes it's not a bad thing, as Jale gets into the area. Pulls the trigger very quickly. It does not find a teammate. McCutcheon Jale, was she coming back from an offside position? She was. It's a good positive start, though, for Paul Temple's side, and no changes to this point.
Look, I don't think there's going to be any lack of energy or enthusiasm from the Wellington Phoenix. You can see it there through Grace Jale. They were first there, ready to kick off ahead of the Mariners, rearing to go, and they just need to get the ball down, keep creating those opportunities, and like we keep saying, put it in the back of the net.
Jale, nothing going forward, so settles for the pass back to Barry. McMeekin can't get there ahead of Langman. So just confirming yellow cards from the first half. Villau must have received a yellow for her part in that melee, where she got involved in a bit of push and shove. McCutcheon also for the Phoenix with a yellow card, and Brooke Nunn picking up a yellow. So we're seeing those confirmations now. Handy to know, of course. So we think of last week with Jaber getting a second yellow and a red in that loss to Sydney. So coaches will be aware of that, and sometimes it will play a part in substitutions that are made. Longo looks to be recovered from a knock that she received late in the first half.
You can see here the Mariners doing a great job again, like they did in that first half, of really closing down the space, not giving Phoenix too many options to play around them.
Notable that after that early effort from McMeekin, that she not so much went out of the game herself, but the supply line was vastly reduced, wasn't it, to Zoe McMeekin. So we'll see if the Phoenix can get her back involved, certainly playing as a striker alongside Ferguson. Perhaps either side of Ferguson, who tends to be a little more central. Phoenix starting the second half in similar fashion to the way they started the first. Wynnum threads the pass, looking for Ferguson. Needed an intervention from Gomez, the midfielder, sitting very deep. Barry. Villau well outside her penalty area, and would have to be wary of turning possession over. Remember, the Mariners have the wind at their backs, so a long-range opportunistic type effort is not off the table here today. Ferguson was asking for the pass to be played. It wasn't. They go wide to Jale. Got inside the defender. It's the execution after that was lacking.
Yeah, great play down the left side there. Jale gets herself into a nice aggressive position. She was running with determination there. Here you can see it, but just that final touch, as we so often see, just lets them down. Phoenix, really, it looks like they're trying to utilize those wing spaces more and get into space, get behind the players and run into them and try and create some opportunities. Here we go again.
And crashing through. So the ball cannoning off the legs of Mania Elliott. Elliott with 4 goals this season. Emma Main is one that's missing from the squad at the moment. She, early in the campaign, was one providing some attacking cut and thrust for Paul Temple. Not available from the bench today, though. Substitutes Tanaka, Brazendale, Jerez, Ingham. None. Pennick looking to receive a pass back to her on the edge of the area. And saved by Villau. I was about to say, Bex, I thought that was a comfortable sort of a height and width there, but Carolina Villau Not taking any chances there, just palming that one wide.
Yeah, got the inside of the boot there. You can see a bit of a spin on the ball, and Villau just having to kind of push that one outside the goal there. But a nice little bit of play from the Mariners there, a nice build-up. You can see Pinnock really looking to get on the ball and link up with her teammates there and getting into some good positions.
Again, we see the corner flags in pride colours as Ninja A-League celebrates pride this week in the competition, and they've got a second. Villau couldn't keep that one out. This is a lovely strike from Gomez. Is it on the edge of the area? And the Mariners have another sucker punch for the Phoenix.
Well, talk about taking their opportunities. What a conversion we've seen from the Mariners. They're really taking their chances, and what a beautiful finish that was. An excellent volley there. It's just sitting up there that Phoenix couldn't clear it, and bang, right in the back of the net. Villau couldn't get to it.
Well, it is a lesson in being clinical in front of goal, because every time they've got inside that Phoenix penalty area, it seems they've either hit the woodwork, they've drawn a save from Villau, or they've hit the back of the net. And now it is all to do for the Phoenix. If they were throwing caution to this wind at the start of the second half, well, look out, because here comes the kitchen sink. Everything now gets thrown at the Mariners. They may as well lose this one, Bex, 4 or 5-0. They've got to go chasing something to get back into this game and arguably back into their season.
Absolutely, and I think just this Mariners goal shooting here really is what differentiates those teams who are going to make the playoffs and those that aren't. And we said at the start of the game, these teams are both about even playing wise, but the difference is going to be who puts it in the back of the net, and the Mariners just all over that compared to the Phoenix. So a really tough position right now that the Phoenix find themselves in. Really no one but themselves to blame for this.
Interesting to see what effect that has mentally on the Phoenix. Can they lift their heads? Can they regather?
Certainly nothing worse than being a player, 1-0, you kind of think you just need one to be back in the game and it's anyone's, but 2-0, it's a hard position to come back from.
None. Deflection, that'll be a corner for the Mariners. The Phoenix, of course, a bitter pill to swallow last week in defeat. They were beaten 2-1 by Sydney. Sydney bottom of the table. And it was the latest goal that we've seen in the Ninja A-League. Elliott equalised for the Knicks, but in the 98th minute, Sydney got the winner. Has been a story of points lost from situations that perhaps the Knicks should not have been in.
Yeah, those games when you're playing Sydney FC, who are sitting right at the bottom of the table there, you have to make sure those 3 points are in the bag. I mean, next week they come up against top of the table. Oh, looked a bit of a tussle there up front, and are we going to see a yellow card come out?
Yeah, the play didn't develop for McMeekin, I think it was, trying to get on the end of the through ball from Longo, but just off the ball, and we'll see it at second glance. Ferguson was just American football style blocked from making any forward progress. And a yellow card was shown to Jess Nash. Let's have another look here. Longo, but look there, just dragged down. And I tell you what, the card's gone to not Nash, but Sarah Rowe. Unless the referee's given it to the wrong player, because it was clearly Sarah Rowe that dragged Ferguson down.
Yeah, real professional foul there. She'd been beaten by Ferguson. She just wrapped her arm around there to stop the field of play. And for her, she probably thought it's not a dangerous position. We're in the middle of the park, and just brought her down.
I'll tell you what, though, Bex, Rowe is lucky the through ball wasn't played for Ferguson, because had Ferguson been the player involved, that was a case for a red card. On the edge, a whistle goes for a Mariners free kick. The save won't go onto the stat sheet for Langman.
Well, Paul Temple really must be facing some tough questions and issues right now. He's got the top of the table, Melbourne next week. This game, it really is do or die.
And Emily Husband has made a change. And why wouldn't you, with the teenage starlet, Tiana Fuller. 5 goals in 15 games, 15 at the start of this campaign. I believe she has now got very much older, and she's turned 16. But what an introduction to professional football for Tiana Fuller, and she is on replacing Brooke Nunn.
Yeah, incredible to think 15 going in 16 and playing professional football at that age, and no doubt probably trying to balance school as well. Incredible feat.
There is the young player in question. Great firepower to bring off the bench.
Just wonder, I feel like Paul Temple's going to have to bring on some subs. I'm not sure who, maybe Membe Tanaka, but he's going to have to mix something up right now because he's 2-0 down and something needs to change for him.
Bilal driving that one into the breeze. The header is won by Jale for Ferguson, who turns into trouble. McCutcheon and Rasmussen, one of the goal scorers for the Mariners. They come to blows in a football sense. And so that is harmlessly high and wide of Carolina Bilal's goal.
Really do have to hand it to the Mariners today. You know, they got off the back foot in that first part of the first half, and they just kept defending well, closed the Phoenix down, and just really have just taken their chances when they've been presented.
Kelly. And asking too much there of Wall was McCutcheon. Yeah, there may have been moments, and there were moments when the Phoenix could have been described as unlucky. You know, not able to capitalise, dominating the match, unlucky not to be in front. You can't argue that now. They're the architects of their own demise, and the Mariners have been good enough, as you say, Bex, to soak up that pressure. And from about the 25-minute, half-hour mark, very much in the contest, and they've taken their chances.
Absolutely, and that really is what differentiates the teams who are going to make those playoffs and those that don't. And just like you said, the Phoenix really have been their own worst enemies this season.
Meakin with a pretty obvious push in the back. I love that when a player commits the clear and obvious foul and the arms go out. Who, me?
Yeah, the Phoenix are starting to look a little bit deflated. You know, it's when you get frustrated, you kind of give those stupid free kicks away. So we'll just see if they can get their heads back in this game. It's as much a mental contest now as it is a physical one.
Jale closed down quickly. Trimis looking for Rasmussen. The Mariners know, and you can see they're in the mood. They know a third would shut this match down and secure the 3 points, be a happy plane ride back across the Tasman. Winham was just grabbing at Bianca Garlich there. Elliott. Almost over the top of that Mariners back line for Ferguson. Winham waiting for support. Passing lanes are being shut down more effectively by the Mariners. Lovely little flick over the top. McMeekin don't want to foul there. And forwards. Martin is able to clear for Fuller. Lovely touch from Longo. Wall. Skips around Rowe. Goes to the near post, but cut out by the Mariners. Danger for them, of course, is that they sit back and defend. There's still a good half an hour you expect to go in this match. So the instruction might well be to keep playing as McMeekin is offside. Sitting back with this long to go in a match, even with a 2-0 scoreline, Bex, is a dangerous thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you head into that third part of the game, it's when players start to get a bit tired, their legs start to get a bit heavier, especially in a game which was quite intense at the start there. So the game then starts to open up more space, and it really, allows players to play through and create some opportunities. So it'll be no doubt out and over yet.
Great intervention there. It was an important one from Jade Pennock. Gomez. Very safely back to Langham there. Measured that back pass. Wynnum. Sure, there was too much contact there. If we thought the penalty was soft, Wynnum hits the deck. Initially, I thought Beck, she may have just lost her own balance there. She's so quick with that turn, but free kick has gone the way of the Knicks.
You can just see here a little bit of fancy footwork. Oh, it's a little bit, just looked like they just did a bit of a fancy turn there, and she does like to get her little touches on the ball, so just looked like maybe a bit of momentum game, maybe a little bit of clipped. Not too much there.
Earned the free kick, though. Longo to take. They're queuing up on the edge of the area. Kelly's there. McMeekin has to be a threat. Jale. They do have the advantage in height. McCutcheon also. Barry's gone forward. Ball goes to the near post, and then it eludes everyone, including Mackenzie Barry, the outstretched right foot. But I tell you what, she scrambled back. That's superb work. Well, that perhaps answers the question of where's their headspace at, because they have. You just feel they've got a little more wind in their sails here now in the last 5 minutes or so. Paul Temple just wants to add to that now. We're going to see a couple of changes, and it is Mbe Tanaka and Daisy Brazendale who will get out there. So Zoe McMeekin's race is run for now, and so too Wynnum. They've emptied the tank. Time for reinforcements.
Not surprising to see a couple of changes come on for the Phoenix. Paul Temple wanting to bring a bit more energy into the game, change something up. He's 2-0 down. You've got to do something, can try something, and bringing on the likes of Mbe Tanaka. She's a very technical player. She likes to get into attacking positions and can definitely shoot from outside that 18-yard box. So they'll be looking to get her on the ball and try to get in goal-scoring positions.
We'll keep an eye on what that does to the shape of the Phoenix. Initially, it looked as though Mania Elliott had pushed forward alongside Ferguson, but we'll see just what the instructions were, because I guarantee you there were instructions going out with the subs. Elliott, another player who does bring a very direct running threat. There's Elliott with a touch left wing side on attack. And Tanaka also very advanced, so Might well be now an out-and-out front three with Elliott and Tanaka supporting Ferguson.
Yeah, I can imagine so. With the call will be to the midfielders to get in those attacking positions, go forward with force and support each other, and just trying to get numbers into the box when you're going forward on attack.
Kelly directing Tanaka to the right spot. Elliott sold her skipper short there with the return pass. Fuller will enjoy this, coming off the bench, 2-0 up, and knowing that the counter-attacking opportunities will be there as the Phoenix push players forward.
Coming in 19, Liam Huxley, and coming off 22, Peter Tris. Also coming in 25, Blake Hughes, and coming off 13, Sarah Lowe.
Almost picking that up from the PA address here. It's, Peter Trimis has been replaced by Leah Puxty, and Blake Hughes on for Sarah Rowe. Snapshot that Villau didn't deal with as effectively as she might have hoped.
Great little throw in there from the Mariners, and it created an attacking opportunity out of not much, really. That's how you do it when you've got a throw in that attacking third.
And again, I mean, it didn't result in a goal, but into the area, shots on target, save. You know, it really did create a little havoc for the Knicks. Again, lessons for the home side to take away, as we see here. No hesitation, just outside the area. Call it a shot, call it a cross, but it was direct.
Yeah, absolutely great positioning of that run there, running onto the ball and a great throw to match, just creating that opportunity out of nothing.
Ferguson, similar opportunity here now for the Knicks. Pulls it back, and Tanaka goes down right at the moment of trying to make an impact. And a free kick has gone the way of the Mariners. Well, with 21 minutes to play, that was a good opportunity for the Knicks to put some pressure back on the Mariners.
Yeah, crucial moment in the game there. Ferguson did well, just got it out of her feet, managed to get a ball over to Tanaka there, but just should have done better than that, Tanaka, if you're wanting to come on and have some impact. They really needed to do something at just before that 70-minute mark. Could have been the difference.
Bit of an air swing in the end. I think just losing the footing with the planting foot Tanaka. And the chance came to Nout. Fuller. Mariners forced backwards, but now shift the point of attack. Nice little shimmy there, drop of the hips by Hughes to shake off her marker. Elliott's Langman gets there first, was always just the slight favourite. Longo. Hughes again, the substitutes to another one of the second half changes in Fuller. What a bright future for Tiana Fuller, and how well managed as well by the Mariners. Not tempted to start the 16-year-olds, allowing her to make an impact primarily from the bench. Ease her way into professional football as just a delay in proceedings. We're about to get underway again now. There is Fuller. Rasmussen opened the scoring from the penalty spot. Heavy touch from Panic on the edge of the area. Couldn't create a shooting opportunity. Temperature dropping a little here in the late afternoon. We're very much autumnal now in season.
And we get a substitution for the Wellington Phoenix.
So Prasjale departs, replaced by Olivia Ingham. It was Olivia Ingham that came on, wasn't it, Bex?
Yep, that's correct. You can see her, no doubt, trying to be eager to come on and create the difference between points and no points for this game. But you can see Paul Temple's obviously trying to throw the kitchen sink at it now and really just needing a miracle at this point of the game.
Yeah, my initial glance was right. I saw 19 and then I wondered, was it 17? Because Ella Jerez, of course, would be another that might get out there. A young attack-minded player. Mariners, again, would be well advised to continue to play. Don't park the bus and try and defend this 2-0 lead. Keep playing. If you can get a third, game over. Naka over the top. Ferguson, a willing chaser. But they turn it over. And for Ferguson, perhaps an aspect of her game still to be developed, worked upon, is that ability to bring other players in as the striker. I think you mentioned on the men's side of the game, Chris Wood earlier, Bex, it's an art that he has mastered, isn't it? Be the target man, but understand when just to be very patient, hold the ball up, wait for your support runners.
Absolutely, he's just so brilliant at what he does. He's a big build and he can just brilliantly kind of hold that ball up, wait for players to come and support him, but he's just that aggressive player that just has an eye for goal and creates something out of nothing, gets a toe on it, seen him kind of get the ball kicked in his face and get a goal off that even. So just a bit more of that mentality.
Well, look at the hustle, the bustle of Flea. And the pass just comes up a little short for Ingham.
Got a feel for Annalie Longo here. She's just had such a great season. She's such a great leader and just must be feeling so deflated of what the season, what this game could have been if she's just been supplying such great balls into opportunities, but just lacking that finishing from her teammates.
Wall wanted that pass with a little more weight on it. Just slowed things a little. Now she can attack. Two in the area to Amat. Delay, and delay too long.
Hear the crowd there really trying to get behind their home side and this last-ditch effort with a corner. There they are, the Phoenix scarves. Looks like they're needed right now. As you said, the temperature looks like it's dropped.
We saw earlier that the Mariners are a little suspect from the 75th minute on. They've conceded 8 goals in this final 15 minutes of a game so far this season, so that might give the Knicks a little hope, as we've got one of the Mariners down here. Is that Nash? Already had one check in the first half for a head knock. Just went down under a sea of arms and legs, just taking time to reset, and perhaps wise here from Nash, knowing that this also gives her teammates time to just recalibrate going into the final 15 minutes of the match. So they don't mind playing away. 4th best away form in the league this season, although this result, if they pick up the 3 points, that's about in keeping with where they will be on the table after this win, if indeed they can close it out against the Knicks. Was I being unfair on Ferguson earlier, Bex? Is that an aspect that perhaps we've been trying to figure it out? We've been trying to understand why they don't turn possession and sometimes territorial dominance into goals. Could Ferguson be stronger as that focal point?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, she does like to get behind the defenders and run onto the ball, but as a midfielder, I used to play centre midfield myself, you want to look up and have options, be it wide or that central attacker to kind of put the ball into. So she's got to mix it up, but there's no lack of eagerness from the Phoenix strikers here, but they just need to know when to go at it, go for goal, but then also you've got players like Anna Lee who are just looking to feed you, so you want to be able to hold that ball up for your supporting players too. And the Phoenix, they've done their best when they've kind of, you know, linked together with the wings and got into that space. So I think it's just that building that skill set to be able to have both options up your sleeve.
We just showed you to the Mariners looking for a first win in 5 rounds of action between these two teams. It wasn't a tale to put the heebie-jeebies on anyone, really, because between the two teams there was 1 win over the previous 5 rounds. So can the Mariners kickstart a late dash into and higher up that top 6 and into the playoffs?
Yeah, there's no doubt this will build their confidence, might give them the momentum they've been looking for. You know, scored 2 great goals out there today. It's amazing. Just even when you're playing a game, those couple of good goals, it just lifts your team on the day like today, but also moving forward into those remaining matches.
Here comes the final change. So it's a central defender off for very much an attack-minded player. Kelly is just the victim there of the scoreline as Ella Jerez is out there for the closing 12 minutes and change. So all or nothing now for the Phoenix with just 3 rounds to play after this match today. Mathematically, they might still be a chance, but really what at the moment is a decent obstacle suddenly turns into a mountain to climb if they get nothing out of this match.
Yeah, they're definitely leaving it up to fate now, and it's taken out of your hands, and depends how all the other results go, and up against it next week with the top team Melbourne there. So really just putting themselves in a tricky situation from here on in.
Well, a throw for the Phoenix to the dismay of Knicks Nation watching in the stands goes the way of the Mariners. As the referee has adjudicated a free kick. I thought the signal was for a throw, and it is. Hughes winds up. Yes, Wellington Phoenix, their run in now. Melbourne City at home, who are first on the table. Canberra away, Canberra 7th, and still with aspirations of the top 6, and Western United at home. Their confirmation of those 3 matches, without question, they'd have to win all 3 and hope for other results to go their way, as you say, Beck. So, and there's nothing in the form book to suggest they can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a mountain to climb, as you say, and it's hard going into that type of situation in the remaining matches.
Ingham bundled over by, I think it was Hughes. It was sub on sub. Break here for the Mariners through Jade Pennock. Turns, keeps possession, finds a teammate. It's well played by the Mariners number 7, but now they have turned it over. Tanaka can't control. Stumbling, losing the footing was Jerez, who eventually regained her composure. Find space though, it's all in close quarter stuff. Longo into the area, well covered, well marshalled by Hughes. They have a corner the next. Surely it's now or never. Surely they need 3 goals and 3 points. A draw doesn't really help them to any great extent here. Can they find a miracle in Porirua on what is now turning into a reasonably chilly autumn early evening? Tanaka. Jerez drives that straight into Hughes, though. She's been busy, hasn't she? The Mariners number 25. She's coming on. Blake Hughes. Tell you what, she gets a decent header on with that headband. Might be a bit of added propulsion.
Yeah, what does she have in there? Is it some extra concrete power or something?
Good corner delivered in, and the header was towards goal but did not get beyond the defender. Jerez turns. Last touch is off the Phoenix number 17.
You've got to be asking yourself, there's these corner after corner and opportunity, and you've got these great tall players in there. You just need to ask yourself, come on, one of these has to convert at some point.
McCutcheon just might have got a glancing blow on that. Any sort of decent contact was a real chance. Sarah Langman, is she going to celebrate her 100th game with a clean sheet as well as the 3 points?
Certainly looks that way, doesn't it? And what a victory that would be for her after those first kind of 25 minutes. She was no doubt a little bit nerves running there and being put into action.
Possession with Carolina Villau, and that means that's the wrong end of the park as far as the Phoenix are concerned. She goes very direct though, almost sneaking in there was Ferguson. A touch there would have been interesting. Jerez turned over, and a lovely run out of defence from Gomez. She too though with a heavy touch. Now Longo for the mix. Elliott didn't offer a great deal there for her skipper, and encouraged Longo to have to go on her own, and battling away with Hughes again. Gosh, she's been heavily involved, has Blake Hughes.
Annalie Longo there really been left by her teammates to kind of create some type of magic. She had the ball, was looking up, couldn't see anyone. Oh!
Lovely delivery from Mania Elliott. So that was pull the trigger stuff. No one there to divert it goalwards though. Tanaka gets to the byline. Cleared away into dangerous areas though, but only if there was a yellow shirt there. There wasn't. And the Mariners now, what can they do on the counter? Fuller. Rasmussen. And they've coughed it up, have the Mariners. Jerez substitutes everywhere. And Ella Jerez just off the ball a little late, has clearly carried on through here, and I think caught Taylor Ray. And looked to me as though the referee was reaching for a card. Again, it's a chance for the Mariners just to suck the life out of proceedings here in the closing minutes. Yeah, just following through. Not much in it, Bex, but worthy of the free kick. I'm not sure a card, if indeed one was shown.
No, it just looked to me a little bit like Jerry. She did some nice fancy little trickery there, footwork. Looked like she got away with it, but just kind of didn't get that last touch of the ball. And I think it was just one of those things where you try a little trick and you're a bit frustrated that you didn't quite make it work, and kind of leapt out there a little bit too long late and nipped Ray at the end there.
It does. And listen, I'm not harping on about this. The match has been well officiated and not been an influence at all, but a yellow card there for what appeared to be reasonably innocuous. And I think back to the Martin challenge going through the back of Mania Elliott in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not quite sure that was worthy of a yellow card. And there that you can see the players there just high-fiving. No ill intention there.
Longo. It will be intercepted. But they're in the safe zone now, you would think. The Mariners, they themselves conceded a 93rd minute equaliser last week against Perth. But they can afford to concede one here. If they were to do so in the next 60 seconds or so, it would at least set up a fascinating final 2 or 3 minutes. Elliott just sends it central. Free kick here, so no advantage for the Knicks. They'll have a chance to send players forward and then have the ball follow. Off the boot, you would think, of Annalie Longo. She's going to leave it, in fact, and get forward herself. Here she is, the skipper. What can she inspire?
See, Langman will be very happy just to hold on to the ball as long as she can, try and run down some vital seconds on this clock.
Anywhere will do now for the Mariners. Brazendale. But facing her own keeper is not what's required here, not through her faults. Hughes sends that one up into the stands. Seeing a change for the Mariners here. This one really just about soaking up a little more time, as Quilligan is going to get out there for the final 30 seconds of regulation, replacing Isabel Gomez, whose attempts on goal early in the match came back off the bar, but she went one better, didn't she, with a similar volley with the right foot to score the second for the Mariners, and it would appear wrap up the points.
Absolutely, she'll be coming off that very happy with what she's been able to deliver for the Mariners today.
Jerez trying to flick that one on. 6 minutes of added time to be played. So 3 goals in 6 minutes. It's happened. 2, maybe. 1, consolation. So it looks very much in favour of the visiting side at 2-0 as we go beyond the 90. Elliott just doing enough tracking back just to go back and retrieve the pass from Wall. Ingham. Mariners with pretty much a constant back 5. And Jerez again with a late challenge. Free kick given away.
Hear the Wellington Phoenix fans there in the background using the drum, trying to rally up some inspiration for their team here at Porirua.
Throw goes the way of the home side. The fans certainly have not stopped encouraging their team. Ferguson trying to sneak around the back there of Jess Nash. Longo forces a corner. She hasn't given up. Hoisting that one, held up a little by the breeze. Barry is there, back to goal. Phoenix can't get a strike on goal. Elliott's attempt is blocked. Brazendale sends it back into the area. Mariners have a player down. It's not a head injury, not a knock that is concerning enough for the officials to stop proceedings. Can the Phoenix capitalise? Jerez, it's a poor attempted cross. Brazendale, Elliott on the left foot, gets back on the right. It's a good save from Langman. Superb from the Centurion.
Just when we were saying that Ferguson are not creating their chances, and that's a brilliant strike there. It's Manai Elliott, in fact, there. What a brilliant strike, and forcing the save. That's what they've been missing the whole game, the whole season, and she follows up with a corner.
One just floated a little too high, easy for the defenders. Fuller turns it over though. And Langman again comes out, got the knees on it, which means the hands didn't wrap around the football. McCutcheon cuts back in, beats one. Hughes is across there. Tell you what, Blake Hughes as a second half substitute has had more camera time, I reckon, than a few others that have played the full 90. She has been so busy, the Mariners number 25.
And across the whole patch, she was on the right there and now on the left. And I'll tell you what, though, the Wellington Phoenix leaving their best chances till extra time.
Yeah, it's a little cliched as we see Hughes searching for oxygen, given the workload, playing just her fourth Ninja A-League match. Looks to be a real prospect. Here's another look there, the save. Langman just kind of led with the knees and caused a fright, but the rebound did not go directly to the Phoenix. Almost getting in each other's way now as they queue up. Tanaka, she too can't get the cross in, but another corner. 5 of the 6 additional minutes have been played, so certainly now the Mariners have the 3 points in the bag, and any goal, do you know, it might even be a little cruel on Paul Temple and his side if they get one here, because it will certainly be no more than consolation. And they might wonder what could have been if this does finish at 2-1. Ray doing her best to be patient and maintain possession. Longo, the urgency still there, but it's not going to help them, as Longo, I'm sure, attempting the cross straight into the midriff of Sarah Langman, who rather gratefully, gleefully clutches that and says, "Get out of here, team. We're going long." Final few seconds. Indeed, that's literally what they were. The final whistle blows. The Mariners keep their playoff aspirations very much alive. They're boosted, in fact, as they jump higher inside the 6. For the Phoenix, though, their hopes of a place in the playoffs, well, they take a huge hit. Celebrations for Sarah Langman on her 100th appearance in the Ninja A-League. She keeps a clean sheet. And the Central Coast Mariners win this one in Porirua by 2-0. So a real sense of deflation. If the air was already quietly sneaking out of the Phoenix balloon, it's just completely gone now on the back of this. Look at the numbers, Bex. The shots at goal. The Mariners turned around a difficult opening 20 minutes, but still the Phoenix will rue. They couldn't capitalise on the bottom stat.
That really sums up the